In a little bit of a change of scenery. We're not down near Bowling Green today. We're actually all the way up here in Louisville today at the Blue Chips Academy Gym, watching some good runs from middle school to high school. And we got a standout guy beside me right here, one of the top 2028s in Kentucky, really getting his name out there, not just on a Kentucky scale, but nationally. Austin Sears, he holds 4 Division I offers. Recruiting process starting to heat up a little bit, coming off a very good summer with EYBL. The spring, you were playing Puma with Kentucky Basketball Club. You were killing it there. Decided to make that switch to Mac Irvin. I believe it or not, I know Greg and some others have posted on. I believe you were the top scorer in EYBL off the bench. And, coming into EYBL, I want to ask you this first off. What was there any hesitations on maybe switching? I know you had played junior EYBL, but was there anything that maybe said, I'm going to stick with Puma, I'm not going to leave? Were you maybe a little nervous at all going back to EYBL? Maybe you wouldn't start. Maybe you wouldn't get much minutes. Was there anything that nervoused you about it? And I guess looking back, I know I say you don't regret that decision at all. So kind of speak about the decision switching.
Yeah, Puma, it was a great experience, but, it wasn't the competition I thought it was going to be. It was great competition, but, EYBL, my goal is to play Power 5 basketball. In EYBL, I feel like the coaches there, they always have elite coaches, Power 5 coaches there. I just feel like they could get me to the next level, playing top competition with, 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits are always there. So, there's no easy game in EYBL. It's always going to be a tough and battle.
Yeah. Austin, we mentioned it a little bit. 4 Division I offers in 2028. Things are starting to heat up. You still got 3 more years of high school left. So it's not like you're in any type of ready to commit, any type of ready to look. But talk about your 4 offers you have and how kind of was it getting those offers? I know you went to SEMO, had a great elite camp they offered. So kind of tell me about the schools that's offered you and, how that process kind of went.
Yes, I have Eastern Kentucky. I got that at their elite camp also. It's really balled out. And at the end, the coach told me he loved my game. I was a great player and would love to offer me. And SEMO, also same thing. They actually offered me before the games. Went there, 5-hour drive, really worth it. And then Texas A&M and UT Martin's really my first 2. They kind of just reached out to Greg and said they wanted to offer me. So they kind of really jump-started my recruitment.
We're going into a big season, man. And, last year you guys in the 8th region, you're a pretty young team. You guys still make, I believe it was the region finals. You guys played South Oldham. That's a rivalry there. So I know you guys are excited for it this year. But talk about the team. Talk about the guys who's coming back. Talking about Coach Levitch and the guys on the squad and what makes this team special. And, early, I think everybody would say you guys are the 8th region favorites. So tell us why. Is it the coaching? Is it the guys? Tell us who comes back. Just kind of give us the whole rundown about the program.
Last year we lost 2 seniors. It's obviously hurts to have those 2 gone, but I think we're way better than last year. I think even though we're 8th region, we could win it. I think we also win the state championship. We have Tommy, who's also can score the ball. We have Oakland, who can score the ball and defend. And we just have a lot of great players around us that makes our team right and who knows their roles to make us be that state champion or 8th region champions.
Talk about a guy like Oakland Schreier. We just watched him walk in. He just added his first offer from Russia. We've seen the season that he had with Kentucky Basketball Club, guarding countless 3-star, 4-star, 5-star recruits. And he might not be the most flashy player. He might not go out there and wow everybody, but he plays his role. He does the right things. And I think everybody would agree he's one of the top defenders in all of Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
I know you probably have to go up against him every once in a while. But kind of tell us about the impact that Oakland makes on the team, seeing him get his first offer, and his future, man, because he's got a lot of upside. So kind of sell Oakland Schreier to some people.
Oakland's just he just knows how to play basketball. He plays the right way. He can defend. He can shoot the ball. He can be a defender. He's just like a coach's dream player. Just a team player, can shoot the ball. Like I say, he's one of the best defenders. Guarded a lot of the top guys this summer, like an Ohio State commit, Ohio offer. Guy. He just knows how to play defense and just got inside people's heads.
Austin, the work ethic with you is unmatched. That's something that we look at some guys and you live in the gym. Today it's a Sunday night. You're here in the gym about to play with some of the other top guys in the state. Talk about your work ethic, man. What makes you keep going every day? Why don't you ever stop or take a break, man? What is that? Is it something mentally? Is it being pushed? What is it?
It's just my goal. I've always wanted to play in the next level, always be there, make my parents proud. It's always that. Just want to push myself to the max because I know where I can get and how good I can get.
The recruiting process for you is heating up. It's still super early, like we said earlier, but when you're looking at colleges and maybe getting some early favorites, some things you like, maybe marking down a school you'd like to get an offer from one day, what are some things that stand out to you? Is it the coaching staff? Is it location? What are just some early things that kind of spark your interest?
It's always the coaching staff. who knows and who loves me. I mean, like just treats me like kind of like a brother, like it's like a brotherhood, and just like knows my game, lets me know like what I'm gonna do on the court, what's like my job on the court, all that, and just have like just a brotherhood with all the players. I mean, like Duke, like they call it like the brotherhood. I like that.
You know, you look at this 2028 class, not just nationally, but especially in the city of Louisville and in Kentucky. Josh Lindsey, Austin Sears, Jordan Mitchell, Trey Hillerich, Boogie Cook. It looks like this is, and it might have early potential to be the best class Kentucky's ever had. We could see 5 to 6 guys go high major. We could see maybe 20 guys go Division I, and it's early still. But just to see this early hype and everything, what do you think makes this city's age group of the 2028 so special? What makes these guys special from other classes in Kentucky, or maybe other groups of guys from other states like California? What makes this group special?
Just like everybody just knows like we're getting to this point, we're going to push as hard as we can to get to our point. I mean, we already have 4 high major people in our class. Like Josh already has 2 Power 5s. Jordan Mitchell just picked up his 1. Boogie just picked up 1. And Jordan Jackson has Oklahoma State. I mean, that's 4 guys that already has Power 5 offers that's just going into their sophomore year. I mean, this group is special. I think for sure, like not even close to the best class in Kentucky.
Oh, man, I think the potential's through the roof. And, there's so many guys, too, like a Ryder Atkins or Barron Clay who just walked by us. And the list goes on and on. A Cooper Stone. There's so many good guards, but there's also bigs like in Jackson Strike. So it's cool to see it's not a one-dimensional class. It seems to be a lot of depth. A lot of people's been dropping their rankings, giving opinions. But if you look at it, it's always different. Nobody has the same one. And I think that just kind of speaks to how good this class is. Some big weekends coming up for you, man. Next up, Recruits Camp next weekend. Then Paul Biancardi Camp in Nashville, which is always a big one. So talk about some of the camps you have coming up, and how do you like the camp atmosphere? Because some people's not big on camps. I would say, judging, you've picked up 2 offers from camps. You're a fan of camps. So just kind of tell us about some of the camps you have coming up and how you enjoy that style of play.
Yeah, I got a next up recruits camp coming up. Just getting my name out there, playing with a bunch of guys I love playing with. I mean, it's kind of just fun. Can't get my name out there, be there with my guy Joseph. And I got Paul Biancardi camp, and just always just get my name out there. The ESPN rankings. I mean, those positional rankings are coming out soon, so just gotta get my name out there. I mean, I get ranked in that top 20. I mean, there's no telling what my recruitment could jump to.
You've worked with a lot of really good guys around Greg, up here in Louisville as well. You've always been around really good talent. We got to show a little bit of love to our guy, Top Price and UT Martin right now. I'm hearing a lot of good things, man. We're going to talk to Greg about Top soon. But, talk about some of those guys that you've worked with over the last 2-3 years. Could be your own dad, could be Greg, could just be someone that have really not just influenced your game, but been there beside you through it all and really helped you get to the point you're at.
I mean, my dad's always been there since day one. I mean, he's always pushed me to my limits. He knows my goal. He's going to do anything he can to be there. And then Greg recently, probably last year, he started training me. Same thing. I mean, he knows my goal. He's going to push me there. And then I started working with Jay Henderson a little bit. He worked at Louisville. He played at Louisville. I mean, same with him. He knows my goals, so he's going to push me to my max. I mean, I like people that's like Todd. Like, he's going there. Like, he knows, like, what gets it done, what it takes.
Well, Austin, this is the second time we've had you on the show. I think last time it was February. I know we'll talk to you again, man. It's been good to have you on. This was great. Thanks, bro. Let's go. That was Austin Sears, man. And, you can't have Austin Sears without a little bit of Greg Cowan, man. So, Greg, I've not had you on in a while, but that was great from Austin. We talked to him for about 10 minutes. Let's talk about a guy like Austin. You've worked with countless Division I players, one in Top Rice, who's now at UT Martin. What makes Austin special, man? What do you think separates him from maybe other kids you've trained before?
He's just got an elite skill set. I mean, his pace that he plays with it's something that we've worked on a lot, but I think he's also gifted with it. Like, he can play at different speeds, at the Division I level. A high-level coach understands that you can't play on a 10 all the time. You got to be able to play on a 4 and then an 8 and then a 10 and change speeds and stuff. And that's just something that we've actually put a lot of time into, and he's picked it up really quick. And it kind of reminds me of Ty, like, he just picks up things so quick. But, to be an elite level guard to Division I player, it really offensively boils down to a couple of things. One is being able to get to where you want to get to on the floor, and then once you can get there, it's decision making and shot making, and that's something that Austin excels in. So the way he can shoot the ball, the way he can finish, the way he sees the floor, the way he understands the game, and the timing, situations of games. Somebody on his team is hot, like he understands all those things, and those are things that I always say is going to translate to the highest level. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes everything you see in high school is not necessarily what's
Yeah.
going to translate to the Division I level.
Yeah. No, and I think a big thing that so many people praise Austin about is we know he can fill it up, but he fills it up efficiently. But also the way he plays in the pick and roll. That was something I think I've been telling you about. Just the way he reads offense. He's such a true playmaker. And I think that's what people love about him. You know, another one of the guys who love to train with Greg Cowan. You know, he's a little more out in Eastern Kentucky, but it's hard to find a name in the state of Kentucky right now that has more buzz around it than Braxton Keithley. Talk about Braxton Keithley and what makes him special. And I mean, he 100% deserves all these offers and everything he's getting, but what do you think it is that makes him special? Is it his work ethic? You know, he has a mentality that's hard to find. You know, what makes Braxton Keithley so special?
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit on. You know, I've worked with a lot of kids over the years. I've been, you know, at the college level, and Braxton's an absolute straight up gym rat. I mean, he's like Ty. If I say we're going to be in the gym for 4 hours today, he's good with that. He just wants to know what time we're going to start. So, like, you know, like you said, he earns everything he gets. He puts the time into it, and you know, he's somebody that, you know, he just keeps getting better. You know, every time you look up, he's become a better player, which that kind of speaks to his work ethic. You know, he's always FaceTiming me. You know, want me to do drills with him in the gym. Like, people don't understand that it's not just in-person stuff. It's all the FaceTime, you know, and things that, you know, you do to make them better. But he's earned everything he's got, and you know, and like you said, he's one of the hottest players in the state, and he's only going to go up from there. I think he's got another level in him, and he's sold out to get there.
No, you know, there's a lot of guys, and I do want you to speak on that because it's been a little bit. Just speak on some of the other names that you've been working with recently. You know, it could be the college level, like Lincoln Lockhart, Steel Ty. It could be a guy like Jonathan Moss, who's going to be making his decision Wednesday, I believe, where he'll be playing at the next level. And then, of course, we could definitely talk about someone like Ty Price, who's playing at the college level. We got to talk about him a little bit, but kind of run down some of the other guys you're working, training with. Jagger Martis is another name. And just kind of describe those guys a little bit. And then I know everyone wants to hear about how Ty's doing at UT Martin and what you've seen from him.
For sure, yeah. So you obviously hit on several of them. Lincoln Lockhart will be senior at Brusha College this year. You know, he was the second lead scorer on the team last year, and he's put on probably, you know, 15 pounds of muscle, which has kind of always been the knock on him, is just getting his body strong. A lot of people don't realize how young he is. He graduated high school at 17, so he's always fighting that uphill battle that, you know, a lot of kids that leave high school are 19 now, so he's already given up 2 years before he even goes into college. But, you know, he's continued to get better. I think he's a kid that'll have a chance to play, you know, professionally at some level. Mercer Rogers is over there now. I've worked with Mercer throughout his high school career. He's another guy. I mean, a lot of people forget, you know, second lead scorer all time in Breckenridge County, and nobody ever talks about him as a scorer. You know, Breckenridge County's had a lot of great players. They even had a guy that played in the NBA. So, you know, Mercer's made his mark on that program. And, you know, as I tell him, the ball's in his court. He can make that same kind of mark at the collegiate level at Brusha. He's in a great program, got a great coach, got some great teammates around him. So he'll have an opportunity to do a bunch of special things over there. Braxton Hallball is also over there. He's been working out with me. You mentioned Jagger Martis. Like, he come to me, you know, about training, and he's got a little bit different approach. Like, he was just like, look, I don't think I have a good fit for AAU. I don't really want to play AAU. What do you think? And I said, well, if you don't think it's a good fit, you know, you don't just play to play. I said, we can use all that time in training. So he was kind of like hidden away from end of high school season until the June summer ball started. Then all of a sudden it's 30 against Warren Central and 28 against St. X and 34 against Bowling Green.
And he was a complete different player too.
Oh,
you know,
for sure.
adding the left hand and, you know, just keep hitting on some of those other guys too.
Yeah, and another hot name, Tyler Bartley. You know, a kid I've worked with for several years. I've always told people that, like, I think he's one of the most underrated 27s in the state. And I've seen his numbers on the Puma NXT circuit, like 19 and 5 a game, and doing it efficiently. And another kid's a gym rat. You know, quick twitch player. You know, love to work with him. And, you know, there's a bunch more out there. I'm sure you mentioned Jonathan Moss. I mean, Jonathan, like, you know, the thing I like about Jonathan is, you know, he come to me when he was young, and he had a lot of trials and tribulations, and he would tell you this himself, you know, him coming in there and banging against Ty, like, man, it took him several years to kind of even get a hold on that, and there was a lot of, you know, tough moments, but, you know, credit to his dad, because his dad seen him struggling, and his dad said, no, you're going to keep going back.
No.
So, and you look up now, you know, at the state tournament, you know, everybody left him for dead when he played a bad game, and then 15 D1 offers later, now everybody's singing his praises.
That
kind of tells you what he's doing behind the scenes, and he's going to continue to work. He's going to continue to evolve. He's going to continue to get better. And I think he'll do the same thing in college. You know, he's down to some nice schools left, and wherever he decides to, I know where he's going, but I'm not going to say it, obviously, but when he decides to go there, like, I think he'll make a big mark in college. So I'm really proud of him, too.
I think Jonathan will be a guy we look 2 years from now, and, you know, he's going to be on the radar of high majors, like, constantly. You know, I don't think he's done growing. You know, I think he's got a lot of room to fill out. He's got a lot of potential. You know, Paul Biancardi camp, I know Paul Biancardi's a good friend of yours. It's coming up soon. We have Next Up camp next week. Kind of talk about some of those camps you're excited to go to, And I know Paul on Cardi Camp last year was great. I know you're excited to be back there. Austin's going to be there. Some of your guys, Braxton's going to be there. So kind of talk about, what your forecast looks like right now, where you're going to be, coming up later into the season.
Yeah, so you hit on a couple of the big ones. I mean, Next Up Recruits will have all the top kids in the state. They do every year. You've been a big plus to them. Taylor Hicks has told me that himself on numerous occasions. Next Up Recruits is something that's not just known through Kentucky, but throughout the country, and that's only grown in the last 6 or 8 months or however long you've been involved with it. And Taylor's always done a great job with it and reaches out to coaches for kids and plugs people in and, does a lot of things behind the scenes that, people, unless you're really plugged into it like we are, they don't really know what he's doing behind the scenes. So a lot of these kids have gotten boosts from Taylor, just not only now, but over the years. So, really happy with that. Obviously, I'll be at that camp. Then you mentioned Paul Biacardi camp. The guy's basically the number one guy in the country. If you get on his radar, things are going to happen real quickly. So, when you have an opportunity like that in Nashville, not too far away, you got to make sure you take advantage of that. And I've known Paul for a few years, and he does a great job. John Stovall, all those guys at ESPN do a great job and everything. And I think anytime you can put your kid in front of people like that, the opportunity's knocking. The ball's in your court at that point by taking advantage of it.
Well, Greg, it's always good talking to you again. I know we will again soon. It could be as soon as Wednesday, at Moss's thing. But I want you I want to talk about Ty again. Let's circle back to Ty a little bit. There's nobody who probably knows Ty Price's game and Ty more than you. And now he's at UT Martin. He went through that high school career. He's at the Division I level. What are you kind of hearing from people around the program? What have you seen? What is he doing better than he might have done a year ago? What is Ty improving at? What can you think we can see out of Ty this year at UT Martin? Because it kind of feels like a fresh start to the program. New gym, a lot of new guys. It looks like there's going to be a lot of positive outlooks at UT Martin.
Yeah, for one, we're just super excited. A lot of people don't know it, but, Ty fought sickness all through his senior year. He had mono, and we didn't know what was going on for the longest time. He was losing weight and missing games and practices, and it was just kind of a struggle health-wise because we couldn't really figure out. He had a couple of mono tests that turned out positive. It's like we didn't know what was going on, and finally we come back late in the year, so there's just a lot of health struggles. So probably 3 or 4 weeks after the season ended, he kind of started to get past some of that stuff, and so I think, he played at like 165 in the high school season. He's like 182 now. And every coach in that program texts me all the time and stuff, raving about the things that he does. I know they've already had a couple of intra-squad scrimmages. I think he's led the team in scoring about 22 a game in those and 11 of 20 from 3. So, they just continue to rave about it. All the things that has made Ty great over the years, his work ethic, his determination, his IQ, his understanding of the game, his toughness that he brings, like all of those things, when you get to that level, coaches are craving those intangibles. Nobody's going to question if he can shoot or score or pass, but when you take all of that and then you throw in the intangibles that he brings and the work ethic and, how people like to play with him, they are really, really excited about the team they're going to have down there this year. But, man, I ain't heard nothing but, super things, and, I'm excited. And I think, the whole country's going to know about Ty Price here real soon.
Well, Greg, it's always fun talking to you, man. We're going to maybe get a few players on here before we get the high school runs going. But it's good talking to you, Greg. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for coming out, man.
Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a small break here. We're going to look for who we would like to come on next. We've already got some games rolling behind us. So, like I said, we're here in Louisville at Blue Chips Open Runs. It's hard to find better open runs in the area, man. They do such a great job here, not just with middle school talent, but high school talent. But I'm really excited to be here, man. It's always really good basketball. I think everybody enjoys it. Tony. We're talking about that and what makes Blue Chips special, what makes Blue Chips so fun to come out to and watch. It's not possible without this guy, Mr. Sears. So, Tony, tell us a little more about Blue Chips, how some of this started, how you guys are able to get these kids in the gym, and how it helps these guys so much.
Well, it started out as a private gym. It was built for 5th, 6th graders last year, the A&E team. And the owner of it, Brian Underwood, wanted to do something special. Let's bring all these kids together. Do it somewhat in Louisville. It's always been us versus them, or my AE team versus your AE team. And we try to be a constant, but it don't matter what AE team you play for. No matter what high school you play at, it's going to make each other better.
Yeah.
And it's a concept we kind of come with it probably about a month ago. It's been great. It's been great. All these kids, the top high school, every high school in Louisville represented it.
Yeah.
Every middle school in Louisville is represented. It's nice for them to go together and make each other better.
Being a parent, we don't interview or talk to parents a lot, but I really wanted to get you on to talk about this. We're going to talk about Austin in a second, but I want to just talk about this 2028 class in Louisville. And I think the 27 class is great too, and the 26 class is great too. But this 2028 class in the city of Louisville, in the state alone, has a lot of potential, man. There's a reason people are saying it could be the best class Kentucky's seen. You've been around these guys for a long time, whether it's coaching them being a friend of Austin's. What do you think makes this class so special? Is it the work ethic? Is it just, what are some things that stand out?
All of the above.
Yeah.
And the best thing I ever did is quit coaching my kids.
Yeah.
It's like now I'm actually having fun being a father. Me and Carlos Mitchell, Chris Wright, which is Boogie's uncle, we started with Team Rise back when the kids were in kindergarten and first grade.
Yeah.
And we said this by the time they were fourth grade, this class of 2028 is going to be very special. There's something about them.
Yeah.
Now, did we know they were going to be this special? We didn't. I mean, some of these kids we didn't know back then.
Yeah.
And, you got kids like Trent Noah, you got kids like Travis Berry, Jasper Johnson. I mean, you got kids that are getting offers from mid-ranges up. Now you got these kids at 28 going straight to Power 4 offers. And it's just nuts that they're getting that going to be a sophomore year. But to answer your question long-winded is they're all great kids. They all love each other. None of them are jealous at all.
That's a big thing.
And they push each other, man. They basically challenge each other. Hey, let's get to the gym today. Let's go put some work in. And you combine talent with hard work, man, just good things happen.
No, for sure. Let's talk about Austin a little bit. Being able to raise Austin. From the time I've met Austin, you can always tell there was a drive. Where he's at now is where he's wanted to be since, probably for as early as it's been. So talk about being a parent in the recruiting process. A lot of coaches are going through you all, talking to you all. How have you enjoyed that? What are some things that's maybe opened your eyes to, shocked you, maybe you didn't know about how the recruiting process went? How have you enjoyed being a part of it with Austin?
Here's the craziest thing. We saw this the other day. A lot of coaches it's basically coaches aren't allowed even to talk to the kid directly.
Yeah.
So they're going into their junior year to the team. But if you go to their camp, you get offers.
Yeah.
If they talk to somebody else, you get offers. That's the thing I need to change on it. But that's been the hardest thing is coaches want to talk to your kid at a young age.
Yeah.
But they've been allowed how they go about doing it.
Yeah.
The league camps, stuff like that. Now going into your junior year, things change. It opens it up a lot easier. But it's been tough, man. Like you see them just have the hard work y'all put in. What really boosted Austin, had a heck of a year last year as a freshman. I think finished the year probably 5'10", 5'11". Now he's up to 6'1", 6'1.5".
Yeah.
Some videos him start dunking now, so it's really opened up the athleticism. A lot of coaches said we don't see him more athletic. Now he's actually starting to do that. He's got a lot bigger and stronger.
With his size, long arms, there's definitely a chance he grows even more. Tony, talk to some kids because we've had people ask. I know people have shown interest about how do they attend an event like this? How do they get up here to the runs? Is there anything special they got to do? So kind of plug these runs, this gym and everything a little bit, how kids can get involved and how they can come down here maybe one weekend and play and show themselves.
So right now it's on every Tuesday, Thursday from 6 to 7:30. We're doing middle school runs. All middle school based right now. The high school event's only on Sundays. We do that from 6:30 to 8. We're already starting a 3-on-3 league. We're going to start another league as well. But if you follow us on social media, and you see at the post right now, we're coming with the website. This is so new. We don't have the website handled yet. And right now it's basically Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
So, Tony, there's a lot of great talent in here, man. I'm excited to watch some more basketball. I want to put you on here to talk a little bit. The city of Louisville, man, it's always been a basketball hotspot. It's almost like I feel like every boy for sure in Louisville has played basketball at some point. What makes this city special, man, and how do you enjoy being, around here, seeing all this basketball talent all the time? Because like you said earlier, not coaching your kid anymore, you can kind of sit back and be a fan now and not just enjoy your son, but also chase, your other son and how he's starting to blossom into a player and get better. But you can also watch other kids. You could go to a St. X game and watch Josh and support him too. So, what do you think makes the city of Louisville so special, and why do you think so many kids are pushed to play? And, they're not just pushed to play, but they usually stick with it. So is it just basketball born into their history? What makes it so special?
Population for one helps.
Yeah.
Louisville's a big area. I'm from the 12th region, from Somerset, and you just don't get that much talent, and you don't get the height that you get here. Today we probably got 4 7-footers in here.
Yeah.
And Wilbert's not here yet. And it's just, like I said, last year we went to a lot of games, went to Boogie's games at Cal, playing Melvin, Jordan Mitchell. Like, anytime we have an off day, we go support them. But I think when you got a lot of talent like that, and what the rest of people are, we always played up. But also then with the elementary school, we always played them up in competition. And most kids in Louisville are doing that. When you have competition like that all the time, we're forced to get better. You just sink or swim.
Yeah.
That's what helped Chase out so much. He's always going against his older brother. He's always against his older brother friends. And just before you know it, people start blossoming really good.
Being a parent, there's a lot that goes into it. You mentioned leaving coaching so your kids could get other type of coaching, and you can sit back, when it comes to training and it comes to being around certain people and who you want your kid to be around, how difficult can that be sometimes, taking back and watching and making sure your kids are not just only in right hands but good hands, raising a kid like that, making sure Austin and Chase are around the right people for their player development, pushing them, getting them better. What do you look at for maybe some parents wondering, well, who do I want to train my kid? Who would I like to get them involved with? What's some things that you've looked at that's helped yours?
Well, that's a good thing and the bad thing, right? So when I played back in '98 as a senior, our training was go around center field, left-handed.
Yeah.
Now there's every trainer on a man, and some never played before and still good trainers. Some played at the NBA level aren't good trainers at all. It just depends what fits your needs and what you are, what type of player. Ever since my kid's been born, we've been trying to train them how to play the right way.
Yeah.
It's pretty basketball simple.
Yeah.
If you're open, shoot it. If you're not open, pass it. You're able to kick out, get in the paint. We're really big on paint touches.
That is true.
And make a decision, float or kick it out. But it does matter. But the way I look at it is don't make it complicated. It's pretty simple, man. Just get in the gym, work. If you got an opportunity to get in with a trainer that knows a little bit basketball, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes people think if they try to make it open complicated, they think they have this special guru to make the kid do it. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
So just keep basketball simple, get in the gym. But basketball and golf is two sports that you have to do all the time to get good at it. And if you don't, like the Kobe factor says, if you don't keep on working, somebody's going to pass you up.
That's true. That's true. I've enjoyed talking to you today, Tony. Like I said, we don't really get parents on much anymore, but I knew we could talk to you about Austin's journey so far and also talked a little bit about, you raising him and what to provide him with. I think our next guest might be this big dog right here, Trey Hillary. If you don't care to talk to you for me real quick, but I appreciate having you on, Tony. It's always good to see you, man. Break, and we added Trey Hillary here, man. Not a small guest. He's our biggest guest tonight, and I'd say he's probably going to be the biggest guest. Trey, it was a good summer, you definitely could say, playing with Indiana Elite, getting better. It was definitely fun. You played alongside another Kentucky guy in Boogie Cook, and then another guy not just right up the road at Noah Washington. Talk to me a little bit about your summer, man. How was it? How do you think you got better?
I feel like I got better in a lot of different ways. Shooting ball, confidence. I grew confidence a lot. That helped playing alongside a bunch of top guys too. Like that helped because I feel like our male team played great, and I think we're going to be still up there. I think we have a chance to win state even without Cole. That's obviously a big loss, but I feel like we're still going to be up there. And my summer was just great.
Yeah. On three and Rivals, they kind of linked up and they decided to drop their rankings, man. And you were ranked in the top 100. And, it's crazy, man, because we don't see Kentucky kids always get the love and respect they need. And there's 3 kids from Louisville now ranked in the top 100. And I think that's just good to see. I know it's just a ranking. You look at it and you're like, all right, bet. Now let's move on and get better. So how was it kind of seeing your name ranked up there with some of the top in the country and getting that national love that you think you deserve?
I wasn't shocked, but I was excited and grateful to be ranked in the top 100 for sure. And now I just got to keep climbing and keep getting better. And show what I can do.
Yeah, you added your first Division I offer recently from ETSU. A really good program, man. They actually have a Kentucky player right now in Maddox Huff. They're always moving guys up and making guys get better. So it's a really good program to start. Your recruiting process how was the conversations with the coaches? Did they come watch you? Did they go through your parents? How was that experience?
They were at the shootout thing this summer that I was at. They watched one of my games, and I bought out that game. Did like 8 blocks, played really well, passed the ball really well, and just all that. And they called me on the 27th and offered me a scholarship, and I was grateful. Yeah, it was a shock too.
We talked to Austin earlier, and obviously coaches can't just come out all the time and talk to you right now, still being a little younger. The recruiting process is different for you. But, I feel like whenever you kind of get that realization that you have the chance to play college basketball, you already start looking at some things that maybe interest you. Is it the coaching staff? Is it the fan base? What are some things that interest Trey Hillerich maybe in 2 to 3 years that could end up being his decision where he goes? Do you like a good coaching staff? Do you like a bond with the staff? What are some things that you're looking at?
Good coaching staff for sure. That helps a lot. And them just having that trust in you and running the game for you, that just means a lot. And obviously, fan base is a big thing too.
Yeah.
Fans are supporting.
You got some big camps coming up, man. Next week you got Next Up camps. I'll be in the building, of course. And then I think it might be 2 weeks after that, Paul Cardi camp, playing in front of the head of ESPN rankings, playing around so much national media, other top players in Kentucky. How did you feel about camps, man? Because I talked to Austin about it earlier. How do you enjoy the play style? How are you able to showcase your game at camps? You might not have the ball in your hand at all times, being a bigger guy. So how are you able to impact the game at camps? And, how excited are you to go compete against some of the other top names in the country?
One of the big things I focus on defense. That's one of my favorite things to play. Defense, blocking the ball, just help defense. That's one of my favorite things. Even though I don't have the ball, because most of the time I won't do ball on offense, but I still play defense.
Yeah. Still making impact. It's been a crazy summer for Mel. You could say you guys, I think, went undefeated in the summer.
Yeah.
You guys had games where you had Jordan, you didn't have Cole. You had Cole, you didn't have Jordan. So it was always something with switching up a little bit. When you're playing for a legend like Coach Tim Hayworth, it's like you guys always make it work. You guys lost Cole, you guys lost Jackson. There were some seniors. So it's a new look Mel team in a way, but you guys also return a lot. And the crazy thing is you lose a guy like Cole, who is a Mr. Basketball favorite, but you guys are still considered one of the top teams in the state. So I think that just shows how good you guys are. Kind of talking about some of the other names and other things that make this Louisville Male team special. And why do you think you guys are a team that can compete for a state championship this year?
One of the big parts is our front court with Jaden Johnson. Him being back there with me, that's a big part. And Corn Barnett, he's going to shock everybody.
Underrated name.
Underrated for sure. He can pass real well. He can shoot. His shot has got a lot better. And then Mason off the bench.
Yeah.
8th grader, he's insane.
Yeah, we got to talk about James Clark.
Oh
and talk about this, Trey. It might be a little more difficult for you to judge because you're more kind of primarily going up against bigger guys. But when you're talking about the best defenders in the state, I think James Clark is an instant name. But this summer, we've seen him explode offensively. So what makes James Clark so special of a player, and how is it to play along two guards like Jordan Mitchell and James Clark at the same time?
Man, it's different because they can both score at will. Yeah, like James can get to the rim, finish at ease, so can Jordan. But the part that helps both of them, they can both shoot. Yeah, and I can get in the post, kick it out to one of them, knock it down.
And that's one thing about your game that a lot of people are kind of drooling at early. They're like, the intangibles are there, but there's also skills here already. You shoot the ball, you rebound the ball, you block the basketball, you play make. You were showing signs of being Kentucky's baby Jokic. You were always in the gym. What are you always working on? And, what encourages you to keep going and adding all these things to your skill set and continue to get better?
I just need to work on my ball handle. Like that's one thing I keep working on because big people that have that nowadays where they can handle the ball. And the thing I keep drilling is the post game. I need to keep working on that. So I keep drilling.
It's going to be a big season, Trey. It's already been a big off season. There's still a lot of the off season left. It feels like we're getting closer to the season, but we still got so much things going on. I'm excited for this season, man. And, say something to the Louisville Male community because they're always tuning in. They love to show some support. And I'll ask you one more thing after that. I know you'll be excited to talk about.
We're going to win it this year. I'm confident. And we're gonna bring one in the mail.
Yeah, let's talk about Justin Herbert. I know you're an avid Chargers fan. I'm a big Justin Herbert guy. I'm a Packers fan, but I love Justin Herbert. Seeing him get that win over the Chiefs, he looked great. How does it feel to see? Is it Justin Herbert's MVP season?
Man, it's his MVP season. It is. He's dating Madison here.
That's true. That's got to be a help.
I feel like we're due for an MVP season.
He is. And he's gone under people's radar, I think, a little bit. His first 2 seasons were great. Things might have slowed down a little bit, but with Jim Harbaugh and all the new guys around the program, I think it's going to be a big year for the Chargers. But Trey, I appreciate talking to you, man. Go out here and ball out a little bit. Appreciate you coming on. ladies and gentlemen, the show so far has been fun. Being surrounded with some of the top talent in Louisville and getting to talking to these guys and everybody in the gym today. You know, in just a few short seconds, we'll probably be finding our next guest we want to talk to soon. There's a lot of people in the gym today, parents, players, coaches, all kinds of people. So I'm excited to keep it going. There's a lot of talent in the gym again, like we said. So, you know, I think we're going to try to get Oakland Sharir over here a little bit. He just got his first offer. So we're going to talk to him 1 second. We're joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Oakland Sharir. You know, when you're talking Pro 16 this summer, I think you have to be in every conversation for one of the top defenders that we got to see. Oakland, you know, for people that don't know you, talk about your game a little bit. You're a 6'4" guard at North Oldham. I know you love defense, but kind of tell everybody about your game and what makes it special in this summer. So go ahead and tell me about your game, and then let's talk about this summer.
Sure. I'm kind of a 6'4" guard. I can handle the ball a little bit, but my main part of my game is defense. I kind of just started this summer really pressing top guys. It's really helped me improve. Pro 16, it was a great output, I would say. Not output, but just a place where I could show my game against top guys. Lincoln Cosby guarded a guy that I don't remember his name, but he had an offer from Ole Miss, and that was just a great place where I could play really good defense, and I'm a good shooter as well, and I could shoot the ball. It was just a great place where I could do that. And a lot of coaches just have really said my defense and hustle is a place where I excel, and that's what I'm good at.
Yeah. You know, it's always good to have these early things. You're still at 27, so you still have this year, next year, and you still got this summer, man, to perform in the AAU season. So there's still a lot of time to go. You know, you received your first scholarship, your first offer this summer from Brescia University. Kind of talk to me a little bit about that conversation with Coach Karn, how it was getting your offer, and how did it feel? Was there any kind of relief taking off? Was that something you were chasing a little bit? How did it feel to get that first offer?
So at KABC shootout in Lexington this summer, I played against Winton Woods, and the game before at 12 o'clock we played Moeller, and I got my eye split open, and I had to get stitches in my eye. So then we played at 3. We played Winton Woods. We won the game by I think 1 or 2. Team played really good. And I've guarded this guy from Winton Woods. He's got Ohio State interest, Michigan State, and stayed in front of him, held my own. I think he only had about 4 or 6 points. And after the game, Coach Greg pointed me out to Coach Karn. And Coach Karn came up to me, talked to me after the game. We followed each other on Twitter, and we just stayed in contact a little bit. And then a few weeks ago, I went to this Madisonville camp. Coach Greg kind of told me to go there, and I went. And I played a really good showing, played really well, played against some good players, and I had some really good games, scored a bunch, which they hadn't really seen from me. And he said that's one of the things he liked, is that he got to see me score the ball and show my game a little bit. And so after the camp, I made the All-Star game. And after the camp, he told me, he was like, I really like your game. I think you're a player that can play at this level. And he said, we're going to offer you. And it was just a relief. Me and my dad, I think we smiled for 3 hours from Madisonville all the way home.
Yeah.
It was a great feeling. It's kind of just a big release off me. You know, you put in all that work, and that's what comes out of it. It's just some really good things.
Yeah.
Thank Coach Karn for it as well.
Yeah, you know, and it's not slowing down. You know, you're still going to have coaches talking to you. I know you've probably been in contact with some coaches. You know, next summer, you know, what are you thinking about right now? Have you been thinking about AAU at all? Are you thinking about staying with Kentucky Basketball Club? Or are you is that still something, you know, you're kind of just waiting to see? Maybe how the season goes.
I'm really thinking about it right now. Midwest Mid-East teams really like me a lot. They have a really tight group. And then KBC, they've sent me an invite to their camp and stuff. But I'm really focused on this school season. I want us to make the state tournament more than anything that I want. And we have great guys like Tommy, Austin, and Colin Daniels, quarterback, but he's pretty good.
Pierre Rondo.
Yeah.
You know, I think Austin, I got to mention you, Oakland, Tommy, and then I think I accidentally interrupted him with another question. But, you know, I want to talk about that a little bit. What do you think makes this team special? You know, you guys were really young last year, sophomore and freshman driven a little bit. You know, there were some older guys on the team, but a lot of the production came out of the sophomores and freshmen. What do you think makes this team special? We've seen you guys make the finals of the 8th region last year. I know the South Oldham lost Bryce Darts a little bit. That's a rivalry. That's never going to end. That's a rivalry forever. But what do you think makes this team so special and why you guys compete? Why do you think you guys can compete at the state level and not just compete, but possibly win the whole thing?
I mean, everyone's happy to be a part of North Oldham. I think that's a big part of it. We've all played together since 2nd grade. We all love playing with each other.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a thing, like if you go anywhere else and play, I mean, this is a great place, but if you go anywhere else and play, you feel the difference of I'm not playing with my guys. And you feel the connection between us. I mean, we have great coaches, like Coach Levitch. We have a guy named Coach Mayhew. Coach Mayhew keeps us together. He's the guy that does the hard work, deals with all the stuff that nobody else wants to deal with. And it's just a great experience over here at North. I mean, we have guys, Gus Soul, underrated guy. He helps me on defense more than anything. Austin, obviously, great scorer. And then Tommy, that's my guy. I work out with him. That's the guy I work with. And I think we're going to be really good this year. I'm excited to play.
Well, Tommy was a guy who really blew up at King of the Bluegrass last year. You know, kind of seeing him kind of take off, but he's a silent killer. He doesn't say much, and I think that's what makes this team special. There's so many guys. I'm going to let you get out of here, man, and go and play a little bit. It was good talking to you, Oakland. It's always good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on. We're back here at Blue Chips Basketball Gym in Louisville, here with some really good open runs. We've had a lot of good guests tonight, man. And this is my guy Levi Parsley. And Levi, I've seen your name out there. We texted a little bit on Twitter, so I'm excited to get you on and talk, man. You're sweating right now. You're probably a little wore out. These games have been crazy, dude. So kind of tell us all about Levi Parsley. Tell us about your game. Tell us where you're going to high school, because like I said, you're going to be a freshman. You're a 2029. A lot of people don't know 5 people in that class. So kind of tell us all about yourself, man.
Okay. So I go to Manual High School, DuPont Manual High School. I play guard, power forward, small forward.
Over everything.
Yes, sir. I got a good shot on me. Good shot. I can attack the rim really good. Finish good at the basket. And I'm looking to come forward all year. I'm real underrated, so I'm trying to get my name out a lot. Go over there and go get my name out. It's about me, yeah.
Yeah, so talking about DuPont Manual's team a little bit, man. Coach Coleman is a beast. He's not just a good coach, but he's a really fun guy to be around.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you guys lost a lot of pieces. You obviously lose Justice Decker, you lose Malachi, other names I've not mentioned, but you still keep some guys around the program. Yourself coming into the program, Geoffrey. There's a lot of guys around this team. So what do you think makes this team special?
Yeah.
And who's some guys that's going to be around this program that we need to see in Manual?
Yeah, everybody on our team's like a family. Like, we all connect like a family. Sean McGee,
Yes.
Jeffrey, who else? Will. We all come as a program. TJ Sweeney, a lot of them guys right there. We just come together, but a good little team like that. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own skill. Tony Wheatley, Eli, Dawson. We all come for all this year.
There's a lot of talent, man. And you mentioned CJ, another 2029. There's a lot of 2029s that's getting some respect, and he's one of them. You know this class well. You've grown up with him. What do you think makes this class special? Why are you guys going to be the next big thing?
Yeah, we're all pretty versatile in my opinion. We all got our own thing, everybody plays guard. He's real shifty, you know what I mean? And he put Louisville on the map. When he go out to UIBL, Adidas, all that, he can play all of them. He puts us on the map like that. That's what I feel like.
It's going to be a fun season, man. This is your freshman year. There'll probably be some times where there's some adversity and things like that yourself. But, tell us about yourself and your work ethic. Are you a gym rat? Are you a guy that loves to live in the gym? How are you as a player? And how much do you want this? Is this something you want? You're just going to lifelong go play at that college level, get better every day? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I want it real bad, man. I want to go to a D1 college, and my work ethic is gonna be at the top. It's always at the top. I'm in the gym every single day, probably. Work out, even when I'm at home, I'm working out. Push-ups, all that, sit-ups, all that. So I try to keep my body straight, not eat no junk food for real, like that. When I can. That's what I feel like.
I'm excited, man, for this season. Like I said, DuPont Manual, there's a lot of guys returning, but it is a new look team at the same time a little bit. Talk about Coach Coleman, man. He's going to be your first high school coach, one of the first coaches you've had. How have you related to him a little bit? How is he as a person? And how has he helped push you, not just this summer, but, times when you guys might just be talking, just, coach a player?
Coach Coleman is a really good coach, in my opinion. He, understands you really well. And he's a talk to you, break it down to you, explains everything really well to you. He's a really good coach, in my opinion, Probably one of the best coaches in Louisville, you know what I mean? Really good, energetic coach, moves around real good, explains everything well, breaks it down to you. If you don't understand it, he's gonna understand you real well and talk to you about it, That's Coach Coleman, in my opinion. He's a really good coach.
I really enjoyed talking to you today, Levi. This might be one of the first interviews you've ever done. You did a great job. I was really happy to have you on. I'm excited to keep watching you play out here. So thanks for coming on, man. I'll stay in touch with you and keep up. Have a great season. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Levi Parsley of DuPont Manual. Another good interview tonight. We've had a lot of people come onto the show today and talk a little bit. We're just going to keep bringing in people. If you're not able to stay and tune into the show, you take a step off. We completely understand that. It's kind of just running live right now a little bit. So I appreciate everybody tuning in early. We're going to try to get some other guys to join on soon. Josh Lindsay's in the building. We're going to get Josh in here and talk a little bit. But like I said, I appreciate everybody tuning in, talking to us tonight and watching. Give us probably less than 5 minutes. We'll have another person on here and we'll be talking. Like I said, it's been a good show. Thanks everybody tuning in. Big thanks to our sponsors, Barron Family Farms, Circle K Auto Salvage, H&W Dukes, Grable Funeral Home, Major League Movers. We have donors from behind the scenes, but also Corey Colrith and Clinton County with Farm Bureau. So it's not possible without our sponsors. We're looking to add some more sponsors to the group. Once again, I thank everybody for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the second time on the show. We're joined with Josh Lindsay, man. Josh, it's been an eventful summer. You know, recently On3 and Rivals dropped their rankings across the country. You were ranked 16th as a 4-star. You hold 6 D1 offers right now. Your recruiting process is really starting to heat up. You know, it's been a wild last year for you, man. So kind of tell us about how your summer's been. How was EYBL, and how are you enjoying everything?
Summer's just been a blessing. Being able to showcase my talent on the EYBL circuit, which gets you a lot of notice. I mean, you put in the hard work, and it shows. It comes out at the end.
You know, Josh, you're around this 2028 class in Louisville. It's got a lot of talent yourself. Jordan Mitchell, Trey Hillard, Jordan Jackson, Austin Sears, Baron Clay. The names go on and on. What do you think makes this class so special, man? Is this something that you've seen since, you know, the early ages that you guys can be great? But what do you think makes it special?
Yeah, definitely. Since a young age, I mean, when I started playing, I mean, we all just put in the work. We all fight. We all play hard. We all dogs. So it's finally getting out there, finally knowing.
You know, seeing schools offer you and take chances on you, whether they, hey, we want you now, man, but we're also looking at you 2 years down the road. You took some visits. You got to check some time out at Duke, North Carolina State. You know, how are you enjoying that recruiting process? And is it everything that you kind of thought it would be?
Yeah, everything I thought it would be and more. I mean, like, everybody, every college, everything, it's so welcoming. I mean, I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to be, like, on their list and just people that are recruiting.
You know, going to these camps, man, you know, this weekend you got Next Up Recruits Camp. You've had all these camps you've been going to. How do you enjoy being there? And just being able to play your game. It's not really like there's any types of barriers. You're able to show yourself as a point guard, scoring guard, the way you can play as a true team player. You know, how do you like the camp environment, being able to play as yourself and not with any type of holds or restrictions?
I mean, yeah, I love camps, like showing out, showing myself, being able to play freely. It's just like, it's really fun because I can just do what I do, and then I can just get looked at for that.
You know, there's times, you know, we've seen it throughout history, you know, guys can be super athletic and they can be labeled just an athletic guy. They can only make highlight plays and dunks, but you've shown how you can score the ball from all around the floor. You've shown you can be a true point guard. You've shown you're more than just a dunker or a high-flying athlete. Talk about the work that you put in. Who are some of the guys you're training with, and what are some things you're working on daily to make your game better?
Yeah, I mean, every other week, I train with Coach Derek, 100% basketball. I mean, just on guard work, like every time we there. I mean, great trainer, pushes me really hard. I mean, just allows me to be comfortable and like just being able to progress myself as a point guard.
You know, Josh, the St. X team, man, you know, things ended a little bittersweet this year, but you guys are back reloaded with a lot of talent. Coach Klein and the guys are ready for a big season. I know you're ready for this season, but you guys added another name that you probably know pretty well, even before he was here, Jordan Jackson. Since Jordan Jackson has been a part of the program, the practices, how does this team look? Is it a little different? Are the games and the practices more a little bit competitive? How does things look when you add Jordan Jackson to the already loaded kind of group you guys have?
It's definitely a lot more harder to score around the basket now since we have an elite shot blocker. I mean, it just makes it harder for us. So every day we play against each other, push ourselves to the limit. So just being able to compete against each other helps us compete against other teams.
You know, there was a lot of 2025s on your guys' teams last year. Chance Dillingham was one of them, you know, a point guard. I'm assuming you took a lot of influence from him, kind of was in his ear, how he could help you with his game. You know, seeing a lot of those guys move on and play at the college level now, the success they're going to have. I know that means a lot to you, seeing them, but, you know, having a lot more younger guys, is there any roles you've had to take kind of as a leader at times on the floor that maybe you didn't expect to maybe have to take this early in the career?
Definitely. I definitely have to be more of a leader now this year. I have to talk more, like involve my teammates more, and just like be a leader to my teammates.
Well, Josh, I've really enjoyed sitting down and talking to you, man. I know it's time to go back out there and play. It's always good talking to you, bro. Keep it up, man.
Yes, sir.
moving here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined with Javian Scruggs of WB The Boy. Javian, man, you know, The Boy is kind of a fun team to watch this year, man, because, you know, last year you guys made a lot of strides and getting better. There was some more leadership, and now, you know, more seniors are part of the program. More guys have been playing for longer. You guys got guys like Draw Brown, Al Ogletree. What do you think makes this team special this year, and why do you think you guys possibly win the 6th region?
We got a lot of guys who are hungry and battle tested because we haven't had a home gym, so we played a lot of varsity away games. We've been playing since 8th and 9th grade, so we're a very battle tested team. We don't really back down from any other team, and we have a great coach too. We have a great coach.
Talk about Coach James a little bit. Let's talk about Coach James a little bit. You know, you talked about that, and that's I think that's the thing that's kind of held The Boy back from maybe getting some of the popularity and kind of attention it deserves. It's never really been able to play in a home game.
Yeah.
So kind of talking about Coach Alexander and how he's kept you guys together despite going up against a lot of diversity. What do you think makes Coach special, and how has he helped your journey as a player?
Coaches help me as a player by always keeping it 100 with me. Like, let me know what I need to get better on. Always let me know, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I might get a little big-headed, but he'll bring me back to earth, let me know, you know what I'm saying? We haven't made it yet. So, and as a team, he just keeps us together. Like, he lets us know to stay together. You're going to figure it out. Fight through adversity. So, yeah. And, you know, he's kind of molded me, Kale, Dry, and Kenyon. The big man, he's molded us to be leaders and lead the team. So, yeah.
So you mentioned Dry, Kenyon, Kale, yourself. Who are some other guys on the Boy that kind of help make this team good? And, you know, if you were to say in the 6th region, who would be some of the top teams that maybe kind of will show you guys maybe the biggest games, maybe will give you all the most trouble? Is it Butler, PRP, maybe Fairdale, maybe all 3 of those teams I just named? Who are some other teams in the 6th region you guys look at a little bit? Who's some other guys that make y'all seem special?
Some other guys that make us seem special, we have a big CJ. He's all right. Just figuring the game out. We have a couple of transfers too. We have Billy. We have a transfer named Tristan. But you know, we don't. There's not really too many other guys in those 4. Yeah.
Super deep team, and then you know, going in, you know, some things that maybe you guys might have learned from last season. You know, maybe going through. You know, obviously it's always going to be hard for you guys because, like you said, there's so much adversity. You never get to play at home. It's like you're never settling down traveling.
Yeah.
What are some things that you guys have kind of noticed and kind of marked down that were some struggles last year that you guys are looking to improve on this year?
Being a better team defensively, get more stops, communicating more people taking that leader role, and more people taking the game more seriously on the team. So those things we're going to key in on and hopefully have a successful season.
Javian, it was good talking to you, man.
Yes,
Appreciate you coming on. Have a great
sir.
season. I'll be in the building a little bit. So
Yes, sir.
excited to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
All the questions again.
Yes, sir. I'm going to ask him every single one of them.
Got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Jordan Jackson, man. You know, possibly the biggest highest flyer in the gym today. I think he's brung the rim down 5 times already. We kind of know him for doing that. 2 steps in, yeah. Jordan Jackson, man, tell us about your game, what makes you special, and the national respect you're getting recently, dude. So just kind of tell us all about yourself.
Oh, like, what was the first question?
I knew this would go awesome, man. Just kind of tell us about yourself, Jordan. You know, for those that might not know you, where you were last year at Holy Cross, and who you are as a player.
Okay, so last year I was at Holy Cross. I transferred to St. X and Santa Xavier.
just for a better opportunity to play basketball and get recruited. With those natures such as like Josh, he's my friend, so it was like cool to team up and do stuff like that together. Then kind of the way I play, I was really from the start. I was a defensive player, that's a high motor guy, which people like to say. Play with high motor intensity. That's how I am. That's all I really do. Just high intensity down. I've been developing a lot more of my shot. That's what I've been doing more recently with workouts, trying to just develop my shot more from the three ball, mid range. My mid range is getting better every day, every more game rep stuff like that.
Talk about, being at St. X, man. How has this summer been working out with the guys playing against the team, and how is Coach Klein? I know he's probably tuning in, so how has Coach Klein been?
Coach Klein's been fun. But with the guys, I mean, I've been knowing some of them since for like 2 years, so I knew I'm the type of guy I could just fit in and just have an impact just because of my the way I present myself to everybody. I'm always friendly. I'm trying to just have fun.
Yeah, try to have fun and enjoy it. Talk to me about the 2 offers you have, I believe. Talk to me, tell them to everybody. I won't go ahead and say them all. That's your offers to talk about. How your recruiting process has been so far, talking to coaches and being seen.
Well, my 2 offers are from Moorhead, Oklahoma State. Moorhead was during high school when I played with Coach Lieberman at Holy Cross. When we had played St. X, actually, the coach was in there. He had watched me play. He just said he liked my intensity and liked the way I try to move. Even though how tall I am, I was trying to get to my spot to shoot over people with my mirrors. And with my second one from Oklahoma State was when I played with Team Loaded on the 3SSB circuit. They just, I don't really know more about it.
Like what they see, man.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this summer a little bit. I would say it was a pretty good summer. You were one of the top dunkers all around. You played with some really good talent down there at Team Loaded. So talk about how this summer went and what were some things you really enjoyed.
Well, the summer was good team-wise. I feel like I could have done better as an individual, just being more myself. I was kind of more out of character. I was just fitting more into a role with Team Loaded, which is okay. I just kind of fell back into that role because King and Pop and Isaiah, I just let them go and play like they usually try to. Just try to fit in that little system.
It's going to be a really eventful season. St. X, if you're going to sit down and rank the top teams in the state, I think you guys are going to be almost everybody's number one. But, that comes with a chip on the shoulder that you guys got to live up to. What do you think makes this team so special and why you guys are kind of getting that respect?
I feel like just because everybody, as a team, everybody's competitive. We're trying to work, trying to get better every day, every workout, every practice. We on each other 24/7, trying to get better.
Jordan, it was fun talking to you, man. It was a pretty fun time. You've been killing out here, man. I've only heard good things, and they've sent me the huddle film a few times in the practices this season. I can see you're having a fun time. A lot of coaches are going to be in the gym checking you guys out this September. This is when coaches kind of start getting early looks. So good luck out there, man. Enjoy the season, and I'll see you again soon.
Yeah,
this weekend at camp, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan, it was good having you on, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by Baron Clay of Ballard, man. Baron, how was the run today? And it looks like they might be coming to a little bit of an end or a slowdown. How were they today, man? And how have you been this summer?
The runs there were good. We started off slow, but then we started picking it up. They put on a new team. We started playing really good.
You had a pretty eventful summer, man. Not just with Ballard making top standout lists and performing in front of a lot of people, but also with Phenom United. There were some games where people kind of were questioning, can Baron Clay miss? And I think you kind of answered that you couldn't. But kind of talk about your summer a little bit, man, how you improved, what you got better at, and, how would you kind of rate it if you had to talk about, how good it was?
Summer went good. I started off kind of slow with AAU. And then I went into summer ball with Ballard, and that helped me get a lot ready for AAU, especially for nationals. And whenever I went to nationals, I picked up my defense. I say my defense picked up better, and my consistency. I was more consistent, and I think that's been helping a lot.
Ballard is a fun team to look at this year. We talked to Coach Greg Willis, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was a great interview, but there's a lot of talent. It is some young talent. The guys are young. They're mainly 28s, 29s, and 27s. But kind of talk about what makes this Ballard team special, man, and some of the guys around it, but also, will elevate you as a player, but also will help you out in big moments.
We got size. We're not small. We have Mason. We just got Jackson. We have Connor. So, we're not small. And I feel like we get along together. We play as a team. I feel like this year, it's gonna be more like we're together this year, on defense and offense. I just think we get along together.
When you look at the 7th region, it's kind of obviously, like usual, considered the best region in the state. There's a lot of good teams, man. You look at St. X, you look at Vail, you look at Cal, you look at Ballard. There's definitely someone I didn't mention there. But how do you guys think you all line up along those teams? Obviously there might be some more growing pains on your ends compared to theirs because you got to get these young guys all rhythm out. You guys got to get a rhythm. But how do you think you guys line up around the state? Around these other teams in the region?
I think with our 2 big men with Jackson and Mason, I think we can match up with not any team because we're big enough.
Yeah.
Of course, I think St. X is always gonna be a problem because they play so fast, and we're gonna be bigger. But other than that, I think we match up with every team pretty well. I think we can beat not any team. We played GRC in the preseason, so hopefully that'll be a test for us.
Baron, you look at this 2028 class in Louisville, it's crazy. Josh Lindsay, Baron Clay, Jordan Jackson, Trey Hillary, Austin Sears, Jordan Mitchell. There's so much talent around the city of Louisville, and not just city of Louisville, all over the 2028 class in Kentucky. What do you think makes this 2028 class in Kentucky so special, especially this Louisville area?
I think just growing up, I think everybody wanted to be in the gym. I think everybody wanted to get better, and everybody wanted to compete against each other. So I think that's what made us all really good. Especially since we've all kind of been playing on the same AAU team since we were so little.
You got to go to multiple elite camps this summer, playing in front of college coaches. You got some high praises from schools like Austin Peay. How have you enjoyed playing in front of college coaches and getting that opportunity to have some early conversations with them and kind of get a feel for the recruiting process?
It feels good. It's all new. It just started, but it feels good. Just gotta keep going through, see what's going on.
Being a dual sport athlete, man. Just like your father Joe, man, you play a little bit of tennis. How does that help you as a player? Because I've heard a lot of people talk about how it helps with footwork.
Yeah, it's a lot of the footwork, especially on defense, like sliding your feet. Because you have to do a lot of sliding in tennis, so sliding your feet helps a lot. And I would just say, also to get in shape. If I'm playing year round, then it just helps you stay active, make sure I, never getting too
tired, man. Baron, it's going to be a fun season. While you guys are young, there's so much upside there. I think you guys got a chance to be really good. I appreciate talking to you, man. I'll talk to you again during the season. Thanks for coming on, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Quentin Woods of Ballard. Quentin, how have you been, man? Talk about your summer a little bit. How is Quentin Woods' life been recently?
I mean, my life's been good. You know, I just been working on my game, working on my craft, and just being a good kid.
Yeah. Let's talk about the summer a little bit. Playing with Bates. I think you spent some time with Louisville Magic as well, kind of getting to play with probably the two best 29 teams in the area. How was the summer for you? How would you say the reception was, and how do you think you got to show your game against some of the other top players in the country?
I mean, I had to show. I'll put it. I got more work out of playing like with both squads because it's like I'm playing against EYBL and 3SSB players, and so I think I improved my game of playing with different teams.
Getting to play for both circuits, what do you think the biggest difference is? I think a lot of people usually say EYBL has more athletes and Adidas is usually more kind of slower pace, fundamental type of basketball. What would you say your kind of takeaways from that is? What's the biggest differences?
The difference is, EYBL is like more of a flashy.
Yeah.
3SSB is giving like you got to take your time with the game, not going so fast.
Let it come to you a little bit.
Yeah, let it come to you. Yeah.
Let's talk about Ballard. We just had Baron Clay join us. We've not had Mason yet. But, I don't know. Mason's a little quiet.
I'm going to get him here.
You think Mason would like to come on?
Yeah, I'm going to get him
I can see him be a little quiet, but I see it would be fun. I like to have Mark on.
Mark.
His dad. Mark would be a fun one.
He might.
Mark's a cool dude.
He might.
Let's talk about, this Ballard team, man. There's a lot of young talent. When you look at this 7th region, everybody's going to be talking about Mel and St. X all year because they've got guys coming back. They've got these guys that are high ranked. They've got this national attention. And I think Ballard, a lot of you guys have the possibility too, and you guys are still growing up and you're getting that kind of attention. But there's obviously a lot of young talent, but it's not the normal young talent. It's really good young talent.
Yeah.
What do you think makes this Ballard team special and all these young guys?
I mean, we got dogs.
Yeah.
Like real dogs. It's like we just practice defense. We already got clean offense. We just practice defense. Try to be a defensive team.
Talk about Greg Willis, man. Coach Greg, he came on. He was
that's a good guy right there.
He is a good guy,
That's
man.
a great guy right there.
You add a guy like Jackson Stride as well, who's a big physical shooter. So now your front court could be Mason Grivna, who's 6'10", and Stride, who's about 6'8".
6'8",
so it's going to be hard to find a team that outmatches you guys with size. But then you look at the guard rotation. Jaden Culver, yourself, Baron Clay, Camden Thompson. Who's some other names on this Ballard team we need to be looking for?
I don't know his real name, but it's Joe. Okay. Joe, he came from J-Town.
Okay.
You already said Jackson. And Trent. And that's it right now.
Yeah. Looking at the 7th region, as an outsider, it's going to be your first, from an outsider as myself, it's filled with talent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that can compete. You're in the 7th region. You know these guys. You know these teams. Despite being a younger squad, how do you think you guys compete with these guys?
We definitely going to compete. We got nothing but dogs. Like I already said, we going to compete. We want to play against the best of the best.
Everyone here, Quentin Woods cannot guard me.
You know I can guard. Don't even do that. When we play y'all, we going to see. When we play y'all.
First game?
Yeah.
Ballard, no.
How many points you guys going to have? How many points you going to score? Like 6 or 7. That's right.
Gosh, you're such a troll, man. Come on.
Yeah.
So North Ultimate Ballard, first game of the year.
Yeah.
That's a big one. That's probably
they're gonna come out with it.
Yeah.
You got too many dogs.
Too many dogs. I think that's what Quentin Woods has told us tonight is that Ballard has too many dogs.
Too many dogs.
And despite you guys being young, don't underestimate it.
No.
So, how has the summer workouts looked so far? How has practices? Like you said, we've mentioned over 10 guys. There's a lot of talent in that locker room around that program. How is Coach Willis? We talked to him. You said, it's different coaching this bunch because you guys are so young. How are you guys has there been some growing pains? Are there mess-ups? Are there slip-ups? How has practice been?
I mean, practice, it's been like learning moments, teaching moments, and also like we getting after it. All every practice.
This 2029 class has a lot of talent in Louisville, but not just Louisville, but all around the state of Kentucky. Why do you think it has so much talent? Is what makes you guys special? Is it the hard work? Is it just natural talent? What makes it so special?
Because everybody in the 2029 class is either playing 3SSB or EYBL, well, the good ones.
Yeah.
And that's just making us like more about basketball.
Makes everyone better.
Yeah.
Besides Quentin Woods, I know you're going to say Mason Grivna.
Yeah.
Jaden's behind us. Jade Johnson's another guy. Who are some other 2029s that need to be on people's radar? I'm going to go ahead and say Elijah Owens. The dude is a monster. Who are some other names that need to be on people's radar in that 29 class?
Tristan Lowry.
Yep.
Camden Thompson.
Okay.
Chase Bentley. Like you said, Big J. Who else? You said 2029. Who else 2029?
CJ Sweeney.
CJ Sweeney. Jeremiah Queen.
Yeah.
Tony.
Buddha. He just won the Adidas Camp King of the Court.
Yeah, I seen that. Him and Mason, I think.
Yeah, so he
Yeah,
was like the
Mason.
best 1v1 guard, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
he gonna have a good squad. He gonna have a good team year too, school year too.
Seneca, they got some talent too. Aaron
Yeah.
Huffman.
Yeah, and I forgot all about Aaron.
There's a lot of talent, dude. I think that's what we're trying to say. But Q, I've had a good time talking to you, man.
Yes, sir.
I know Coach Aaron Taylor is going to definitely tune in. I'm going to make sure Coach AT.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call him tonight.
Yeah, but it was good having you on,
Got
man. Excited to see you more during the season, bro. Keep it
I
up.
got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at the Open Runs to the Blue Chips Gym. We're here with Jaden Johnson, man. That's a common name in Louisville. That's a common name. There's a lot of Jaden Johnsons. I like it. And they're all good as shit at basketball. And that's the big thing, too. Jaden, introduce yourself to us, man. What makes you special as a player? Where are you playing this season in high school? And what grade are you, man? Because 2029, man, a lot of people's got to get familiar with y'all.
2029, freshman in high school, middle high school, coached by Tim Hayward. What makes me special as a player is that I can go from the perimeter to the inside. Wherever you need me, I'll be there.
You know, Male this summer, I don't know if you could find a better team. Undefeated. You know, you guys had moments where you didn't have Cole. Jordan and the guys took over. There was moments you didn't have Jordan. Cole and the guys took over. So it was like you guys never really fully got to play together, but you guys didn't lose a single game. You were a big part of that, starting a lot of the games, man. Started at the KABC shootout in front of all the coaches. How did you enjoy this summer, and where do you guys think you all rank across the state for all the teams?
To be honest, I feel like with Cole, without Jordan, without Jordan, I feel like we was the best. Nobody beat us, nobody stopped us. So our chemistry together, we came together, We had limited practice because sometimes our gym wasn't always open, but it didn't matter. We would still go out there and win, play together, and go out on top.
Talk about your summer a little bit, not just with Mel, but kind of talk about it with Bates. You guys had a really successful summer. So much Kentucky talent was on that team. You know, Elijah Owens, Q, Camden, yourself. What do you think made you guys special on that Bates team, and how did you enjoy playing, on the EYBL side?
I feel like we were special because we've been playing together since sixth grade, fifth grade. We were playing together, we built chemistry, and it was all up from there.
Coach Tim Hayworth, man, he's a legend. If you were to build a Mount Rushmore of KHSA coaches, I think he makes that cut.
Sure.
I think he personally makes my cut. How has he pushed and challenged you as a player, and how has he helped bring the best out of you?
Great coaching. And not really much you can say, but I can say the past couple weeks, actually past couple years, I've been playing with him, practicing on Mill High School. I was grateful enough for him to invite me my 5th grade, 6th grade year to come practice at Mill High School and get immune to the system. But he's also been inviting me to play, invite me to practice at 5 a.m. in the morning, get shots up. I just grateful for that.
Jake, you got a big frame. You got a big body for being, already in 2029. Have you, sometimes players worry, when you blossom early, you get this big frame, you might not grow any more plateau. How have you kind of worked as a player, like your skills, to make sure, what if I stay 6'3" and I got to stay at guard? What if I keep going? How do you work out as your skills, and where do you get better at every day when you play?
To be honest, people have been telling me that since like a couple months ago, like rapidly, everybody's been telling me, but behind the scenes and on videos and stuff, I've been working, training every day, just trying to get better, and I'm means of being a guard.
You kind of mentioned it, having a lot of people already having their names in your mouth, people already talking about Jacob Johnson, where he's going to rank in this class. There could be some early pressure, but man, there's so many good 2029s in this city. A lot of you guys are getting this challenges. How good is this 2029 class, man? And who are some of the other top names?
To be honest, 2029 class is a very well class. I'm not even going to lie to you. We got Mason Grivner, Jeremiah Queen, we got Quinn Wilson just came over here, Tristan Lowry, Camden Thompson, Elijah Owens is coming to play in Ashland.
Yourself, CJ Sweeney. That's 10 names already, man. That's 10 names already, and you've seen the 2028 class, how much love they're getting.
Yeah.
It's almost like you guys are right up next. Jake, I've enjoyed talking to you, man. Say something to the male community. The Bulldogs always tune in. I know Coach is going to be watching, so I'm going to tell him in a minute to tune in and watch it. So just leave something off for the Bulldog community.
Bulldogs, get ready for the season. We need the students that can pack this year. We're not losing no games at all. Get ready.
The student section's usually pretty fine. What's a bigger rival for male right now? DuPont Manual or St. Max?
St. Max.
You heard it here, folks. Two best teams in the 7th region?
Yes.
We'll see. Let's see how it goes, man. Thanks for coming on, Jay. It was good talking to you, man. I'm joined with Mason Calhoun, man, the youngest. You might be the youngest guest we've ever had, man, 2030. So there's a little bit of nervousness, but I knew I had to get you on, man. So just kind of introduce yourself as a player. What makes you special, great, a little bit of everything.
My name is Mason Calhoun. I can shoot, pass, defend. I can do everything.
How was this summer? You're playing with Rondo Elite. Yeah. It's hard to find a better AAU program than Rondo Elite. You're beside the Hall of Famer Rajon Rondo. You're with guys like Pierre, Just talk to me about that team, man, because there's so many guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were versatile. We had a lot of pieces too. We were big, and we had some guards too. Like
Who were some of the other names besides Mason Calhoun that made that team special that the state of Kentucky need to have on their eyes to be looking at?
On the 2029 or 2030 team?
Both.
On the 2030 team, we had Trent from here. Trent, JJ, Ace, yeah, that was him. In the 2029, we had Ray Sean, and Peter.
A lot of talent. Was Jacob Carter a part of that?
Oh yeah, he played. He won.
You guys had a lot
but
of
he got
talent.
hurt that tournament.
You guys had a lot of talent, man. So looking at Louisville Male, there's so much talent, and it's crazy because there's a lot of great talent too. And how do you like Coach Tim Hayworth? Because Coach Tim Hayworth's a big fan of the show. I know he's probably tuning in. Talk to me about Coach a little bit and being able to play for a guy who's had so much success at the high school level.
Oh, yeah, I love Coach Hayworth. He's a great person. He's gonna work you hard.
He is gonna work you hard.
Yes, sir.
How does he push you as a player? How have you seen him differently from other coaches? How he just kind of got the best at it?
Because he's gonna, even if you're like not trying, he's gonna make you try. He's gonna make you do the extra lap and run. Yeah.
Talk about this male team. Where do you guys rank across the state?
I think we're the best team in the state.
Playing this summer, you had games where you didn't have Cole, and you guys still went undefeated. You had games where you didn't have Cole. I mean, you didn't have Jordan, you had Cole. You guys went undefeated. Is that a statement of how good you guys can be?
Yes,
you guys
very
can
good.
without injuries, and guys can still step up.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this season, man. Being an 8th grader in 2030, you're already making an impact on this team. How does that feel to be able to be this young and already being able to go out there and play for the top team of the state?
It feels great because all the younger kids get to see and get to show an example.
Well, Mason, I appreciate having you on, man. Good
Yes,
luck
sir.
this season. I'm excited to see you guys at Mel. Appreciate you coming
Yes,
on.
sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in here at the Blue Chips Gym. We had a great time. A lot of talent in the building tonight here in Louisville. I really appreciate these guys inviting me out. I think we interviewed well over probably 10 guys. A lot of talent in the building, man. Had a great time. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back with another show soon. We'll be on the road tonight, headed home from Louisville. I don't know where it takes us. Right now it feels like it just kind of takes us anywhere. But appreciate everybody tuning in. We've been live for 2 hours. I hope everybody has a great night. God bless. We'll tune in soon. Peace out.